Didn't realize you were back from the camp.
Just came in this morning.
Another letter from Georgie just came in. I was gonna put it on your desk, but here you are.
Will you put it in the drawer for me with the others? I'll read it later.
Sure. You headed back already?
I just came to pick up a few things.
Crowbar being one of them.
Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and analyzing the new sneak peek promo for next week's episode of The Walking Dead, Season 9, Episode 4, The Obliged. With that being said, major warning of spoilers for everything in the show up to episode 903, and let's jump right into this. So the last episode ended off with Maggie and Daryl finding out the answer to the murder mystery, which in an odd way actually further motivates Maggie to take matters into her own hands, as she not only states that they gave Rick's way a chance, but that it's not working out, so she concludes by saying that it's time to pay Negan a visit, calling back to her final scene in Season 8 where her, Daryl, and Jesus strangely plot against Rick. I actually created 2 Rick vs. Maggie prediction videos for Season 9 right after Season 8 ended, so definitely check those out as I give my complete in-depth opinion as to why I think that scene was so off-putting and what I think is going to be going on in regards to the Rick versus Maggie thing and how they disagree with Negan. But either way, Rick and Maggie will both be off the show in 2 to 3 episodes anyways, so will this confrontation with Negan be the result of it? See, in the comics, Maggie went a very long time without ever confronting Negan, but in the show they seem to be rushing to the point as Maggie and Rick are both leaving. In the comics, Maggie didn't end up confronting Negan until after the Whisper War, and it blew up as being a big moment between them. It's focused around the entirety of issue 174, which was the last issue before the Commonwealth New World Order story arc. Although I don't entirely agree with them rushing the storyline, it was a huge thing in the comics and it recently happened, so I imagine it'll turn out well on the show too. I'm just slightly unsure when they tend to rush material in the comics to happen on the show way before it should, but hell, this kind of excites me, so I'm not going to complain too much.
You've done a good job taking care of things here. I'm gonna need you to keep doing that.
Well, you're someplace other than the camp.
I'm gonna make things right, like we talked about.
Like you did with Gregory. Only we never talked about that.
Not asking you to agree with me.
There was a time I did.
Anyways, this sneak peek consists of Maggie preparing to leave the hilltop to go visit Negan, and Jesus briefly stops her in her tracks to try and talk some sense into her. Jesus must have had a feeling that it might come to this, especially after Maggie decided to finally stand up and take care of the Gregory situation, but I don't think that he'll be able to stop her. As the sneak peek starts out, Jesus originally walks up to Maggie with the intentions of delivering yet another letter from Georgie, the woman who gave Maggie that book last season called A Key to the Future, but Maggie just says to put it in the drawer with the others and that she has more important matters to attend to. I get her obsession with wanting to finally go and take care of Negan, but I'm really interested in this Georgie situation as people speculate she may actually be the governor of the Commonwealth, meaning that she would be yet another comic book arc that would end up being brought to the show and foreshadowed long before it ever was in the comics. On one hand, I'm happy to see this kind of stuff on big screen so soon, but at the same time it once again makes me feel unsure of everything, as I feel like they shouldn't get too ahead of themselves. They're in the new beginning story arc right now, so I originally felt like they should just simply focus on that, followed by going through the events as they chronologically happen in the comics, but I suppose that they truly are remixing all the events that happened in the comics post All Out War.
Not asking you to agree with me.
There was a time I did. But Negan deserved to die when it ended. Rick was wrong because he made a call that wasn't his to make. I just want to be sure that you're not wrong in the same way that he was. And I want you to be sure.
As Maggie continues to hold off what she's actually doing, she starts to slowly drop hints, causing Jesus to put 2 and 2 together. Maggie tells Jesus to keep doing a good job taking care of things while she's gone, and that she's going to go set things right, like they talked about at the end of Season 8. Jesus makes a solid point saying, oh, like Gregory, except we never talked about that, because Maggie definitely decided Gregory's fate for herself without consulting anyone about it first. As Jesus told Michonne previously, he doesn't know if Maggie did that for herself, for her people, or both, but Jesus wants to make sure that Maggie doesn't get carried away with killing all her problems, an issue that Rick definitely had in the past. See, Rick genuinely created peace after the war, even if Daryl is correct in him being naive trying to do so with the bridge and whatnot. Rick originally created peace between the communities, and it wasn't until Maggie hung Gregory that she inspired more violence to come. Even though that she knew Cindy wasn't technically in the right to just straight up murder a Rot, she should probably get thrown in prison for what she's done, she looked at Sydney wanting revenge against a Rot and compared it to her wanting revenge against Negan because of Glenn, so she turned around because she didn't want to make Cindy's decision for her and not make her able to fulfill her revenge, which is pretty much what Rick did to Maggie in regards to Negan, because he locked Negan up and didn't let Maggie have a say in the matter. With all that being said, Jesus makes another good point in regards to this, because he says that Rick was wrong for making a call that wasn't his to make, and Jesus wants to make sure that Maggie doesn't make the same type of mistake as well by going and killing Negan just because she wants to. Jesus is in a lot of ways Maggie's conscience. She's been pretty damn ruthless ever since Glenn died, and she always seems to go to him for moral guidance, especially when her need for revenge seems to take over. Jesus tells Maggie that he wants her to be sure of herself if she's truly going to take care of the Negan situation, and that's where the sneak peek ends off. I feel like she'll just rudely say that she is sure, turn around, and walk away. This will cause Jesus to feel uncomfortable about the whole situation, leading him to actually radio out to Jerry to warn Rick that Maggie's going to Alexandria. I'll continue this discussion in my next video where I break down the second sneak peek for episode 904 that was exclusively released on Talking Dead that actually shows Rick getting this warning from Jesus through Jerry, but for now that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, as it really helps me out more than you can imagine by getting my video out there for more people to see. Feel free to subscribe for more Walking Dead content in the near future, and if you'd like to take that extra step in helping support the channel, consider checking out my Patreon as well. Follow me on Twitter too, link to both of those in the description. I'm fairly active on Twitter even when I'm not posting videos, and I'm always retweeting everything I can involving the Walking Dead universe. But anyways guys, as always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out!